3. Hey there, Griff Hamlin here from Blues Guitar Unleashed. Welcome. Thanks for joining me. Today's video, obviously, I've got my acoustic guitar. We're going to be talking about some acoustic blues. And basically, I've just got a nice, easy song for you today. This is really nothing super outrageously weird. It's an 8-bar blues, kind of in the style of Key to the Highway, if you're familiar with that tune. You may not be 100% hip to the 8-bar blues. So let me just kind of show you. This is kind of an important thing that you've always got to keep in mind. Whenever you're playing an acoustic blues by yourself, there's always sort of an underlying rhythm or an underlying groove, as I like to call it, plus chords that's going on. Even though you might not always be playing exactly that, you might not be articulating those exact notes, they're kind of implied all the time. So in the case of this, we have, if we play our, traditional, what I'm going to call blues in A, right? Because we got A, E, that's the 5, and then we go to the 4, the D. And these are all open chords in this position. Now, if you've never played this kind of thing before, this might seem already like a little bit too overwhelming. I'm going to assume that you have sort of played something like this at some point in your career as a guitar player, but this 8-bar blues pattern may not be as familiar to you. So we have the 1, the 5, and then the 4 for 2 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, then back to the 1, to the 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, back to the 1, and back to the 5. And that is all 8 bars of it. That is it. That is what's going to be going on in your mind. So the first thing that you have to do, no matter what, is be comfortable playing that. If you're not comfortable with those chords, if you're not comfortable with that rhythm, you could go a little slower. That would be fine. Something at a pace that you can play comfortably and consistently, whatever that happens to be. That'll be fine. That's not what we're doing at all. This is meant to be easy. And by the way, what I mean by easy, I actually have a definition of easy. I have courses like 5 Easy Blues Solos, and this comes from one I have called 5 Easy Acoustic Blues Songs. What qualifies as easy is nothing is faster than an 8th note. So there's not like speedy fingers required, but there's more importantly than that is the syncopation, although there is some. I try to keep it sort of to a minimum because syncopation and weird rhythms are what make things difficult. It's generally not the speed as much as the weird rhythms. So that's kind of where this comes from. So let's actually dig into how I'm going to play this song. Now, to start off with, I have a little bit of an intro, a little bit of melody. Okay, so if I were to play an A chord right here, I would have the A major blues scale. This particular little riff where I go from the flatted 3rd to the 3rd, that's the 5th to 6th fret, the flat 3 to the 3 on the 3rd string, and then the E at the 5th fret of the 2nd string, and then I'm going to play the A, just straight up A, 7, 6, 5, 5. Okay, just like F, but A. Now you could play A7 if you prefer. It's just it'd be a little bit tricky to get to. So I played A. Now you'll notice the chord written is A7. That's because we're implying an A7 as the rest of the bar goes on. So that part right there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, now, remember what I said. That groove has kind of got to keep going in the back of your mind. We already just used the first beat of it, so we're going to jump back and continue. 2, 3, and then we're gonna do a little more melody. 4, 1. And we're gonna do that 3rd fret on the 1st string, 2nd fret on the 1st string, open 1st string, okay? That's the flat 7, the 6, and the open. So I'm borrowing some notes from the major and the minor blues sound here. Now, that open E is where the start of the groove happens on the E chord. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, Okay, so notice again, I'm coming in after that first beat that I already played up top. Okay, so that's the first part of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you'll notice my right hand, I'm very careful to mute out things that I don't want to hear. You will see my right hand if you really watch my right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can probably see a lot of that where I'm hitting the strings. I'm coming back down on top of the strings, keeping things under control. That's a big part of playing. Now, instead of doing that for the D, I decided to do something that's very, very common, which is to sort of arpeggiate or play what we call a broken chord. So I'm going to hold a full-blown D7, open, 2nd, 1st, 2nd, okay? And I'm going to play the notes. I'm going to kind of let my pick bounce around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and you'll notice it says let ring. So I'm going 4th, 3rd, 1st, 2nd, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 2nd, 4th, 3rd, 1st, 2nd. And then from there, I'm gonna do some more melody. Okay, I'm gonna cross over the bar line all the way to that 2nd fret on the 3rd string. So that melody, I already have a finger on the 2 on the top string. That's the 6th of the scale, pull it off, or the open, E, the D, the C, and then I'm gonna end on A because we're back to the A chord. Okay, so if we put that together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now, while I'm doing that, okay, what happens if I accidentally hit the wrong string? Absolutely nothing. It sounds a little bit different, but it doesn't sound bad. So please don't beat yourself up if you accidentally hit the wrong string there. Really, we're just kind of bouncing around through the chord. Now, once I've done that, again, that's beat 1, so I'm back to that A. 2, 3. Now I'm going to use a little melody to work my way down to the E. Now, I could play that C, I could play it at the 1st fret of the 2nd string. And if you find that to be easier, please do so. I find it easier to do it with my pinky here at the 5th fret of the 3rd string. That B also could be the open 2nd string. Again, if you find that easier, do that. I find it easier to be here. I also prefer to not use open strings because I can control the sound better. Then an A, then an F sharp. So 2nd fret and then 4th fret down on the 4th string, and I'm down to my low E, not my low E, but an E at the 2nd fret of the 5th string. Let's put that a little bit together. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. And that's the one place that I had to put a triplet in order to get through this in time. Still eighth note triplets, okay, but it is just a touch faster. It's good to have these once in a while. That might feel like a little bit of a struggle, but that gives you a little bit something to work towards. So 2, 3, 4, and 1. And then of course we're going to continue through the E. And that's going to be E, F sharp, 2nd fret, 4th fret, and then end on that A. Okay, so let's do just that third part again. And in fact, I'll start it from the beginning of the bar with beat 1 playing that A from, okay? So 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and, or open A. And here we're gonna throw in a turnaround. Now, I like to do this turnaround in a particular way. I like the sound of this. You can adjust this to your needs. I'll kind of show you how. It requires strings that are kind of far apart. So I have to pluck with my pick. I'm gonna have the 5th fret on the 4th string. Notice I've got my pinky on the 5th fret of the 1st string. I'm going to use my middle finger on my right hand. This is a technique that if you're not familiar with, it's a very good technique to have in your arsenal. So I really want to encourage you to be able to do this. 2, and now my 3rd finger is going to go down to my 2nd finger on the 4th fret of the 4th string for beat 3, and now I'm going to go down to the 3rd fret with my 1st finger, beat 4, and then I'm just going to go down to an E here at the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and the upper E there. 1 and 2 and D, E flat, E. Just walking my way up, open 1st and 2nd frets on the 4th string. Okay, so that again, that turnaround, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Now, you might think, wait, that bar is not over. Well, it's not over because you would then go back and start over. Right? So you'll notice that the what I have here at the end, 1 and 2 and 3 is written, and then you'd be over here. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and you can go around again. Okay, so that is why that does not finish in its entirety. It seems like it's not finished. That's because you can just keep going, play that over and over and over again until you're done. When you are finally done, you would pretty much do that. You'd play that turnaround. And hold it. 3, 4, 1. And you could either end it like with an A7 chord. That's probably what I do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, so you can play that through several times. Okay, when you are finally done, just end it with any A7. Whatever you feel good about, right? So it's not very difficult. It's very consistent rhythmically. Okay, so if you've got, hopefully, you know, you're say intermediate, advancing beginner, intermediate player, whatever, I think this is probably doable for you. Now, if any of this seems really outrageously difficult, Okay, well, maybe it is. Maybe it's a little bit beyond your scope right now, in which case you want to go and do some more beginning stuff. But if this is like, hey, it feels like with some practice, I might get there. If it's super easy for you and you're like, I can play this in 4 minutes, okay, well, then that's not very useful to you. This is the kind of thing that you want to be like, okay, maybe if I practiced on this for a few days or a couple of weeks, I might get there. Okay, that's what we want. It's important to have things that are difficult but still achievable. It can be very frustrating for students to have things, you know, I know you probably want to learn something, you know, right off of a Robert Johnson record or a Bill Brunsey record, and that's great, but those tend to be really hard to play. And so you have to have wins. You have to have some success along the way, or it's really hard to keep yourself motivated. So easier songs like this can be very beneficial. And again, like I said, this is from a package I have called 5 Easy Acoustic Blues Songs. If this is kind of, you're like, yeah, this is good for me, I kind of need this kind of stuff, I'll leave a link near this video for you to check that out. But as always, I hope that you will try this for yourself. If you have guitar playing friends that you think would dig it, I hope you'll share it with them. I'm Griff Hamlin from Blues Guitar Unleashed, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Have fun. 1, 2, 3.